at Blighty Boxing in association with Frank Warren and Queensbury Promotions. We're back at a eerily quiet and somewhat spooky Peacock gym with Daniel Dubois, who's just back at work. Now he's had a phone call telling him off for being late outside, so we're going to keep this very quick.
Yeah.
Dan, have you been coping with the last 10 weeks or so? Sort of it's been difficult for everyone, even though it's not difficult staying indoors, but it is kind of difficult.
It is.
Isn't it?
It's been a drag, been going on for like, you don't know when it's going to end, so it's been just really trying, testing times really, for everyone, I think.
I mean, some people would have probably said about you because your mentality towards sport, but if it wasn't for the fact that you weren't allowed to train here, you wouldn't have even known you was in lockdown, because that's kind of your lifestyle anyway, would you? True, but seeing now,
is that for you?
Cheers, thank you, Martin. Martin Bowers tea service, tea from the governor.
Tea break. Yeah. Yeah.
So did you sort of, apart from the training, was life pretty much the same as normal?
Yeah. Well, it's never normal just to be cooped up at home all the time. You want to go out, you want to eat out. Sometimes you just want to just walk and stuff. But it's been just really, you don't know how bad the situation is going to get, and it's just that what if, what's next sort of thing going on.
Did you follow it all on? Have you been following it all on the news, sort of seeing how it's going day to day? Well,
when it already happened, it all kicked off. The stores were empty and it's just crazy stuff, shelves. Is this the end of the world? It's crazy. But it's just, it seems to be coming back to normal now, and everything's starting to come back together. We're here, so we're just working and waiting on a date.
Now, this sort of lockdown period kind of coincided with you moving into Dubois Towers in Essex.
Yeah.
I presume that must have been a big bonus of it all, because at least you had a little bit of space to spread out from the family there.
Yeah, well, luckily before, it just happened at the right time, and we've been working towards it, and being able to see some of the rewards for your hard work has been really, really, inspiring and good for all of us, being under one roof and just being able to enjoy it.
Did you set up a little gym, or were you doing it all outside?
Well, yeah, we've got a little gym, a couple of bags up, and a little space for us all to work out, and we've been just doing that pretty much throughout this lockdown thing, this little break.
So who's been the most annoying or impatient during lockdown in the Dubois household?
Probably me.
You, yeah?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's just, I like to, when you've been on a mission so long, and you're used to the routine, for it to just suddenly change like that can be quite a shock to the system. So it's been a bit wild.
I thought you would have said your sort of 14, 15-year-old brother Prince. I mean, I just think for kids that age to be locked up must be awful.
They love the kids these days. They love their Xboxes. They love their little.
Oh, that's true.
They're in their own world,
That's true. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Now, before we just go on to you, I want to touch on Caroline.
Yeah.
And obviously, she had her Olympic qualifier at the Copper Box, and it got halted right in the middle of the lockdown when they called the lockdown. Now I think she got a bye, didn't she? And then she won a fight.
Yeah, she won her first one, and then I think it was qualifiers. A couple more fights she would have qualified, but yeah, there we go.
How did she cope with that?
Listen, it's just knocked her for six. I think everyone that was getting ready for it and all the work she put into it, but it gives her time to. Now it's been rescheduled for next year. We'll have to wait and see if that will even come off. But if she doesn't, she's still got options. She can turn pro, I think, and pursue that.
Like I say, the qualifier got curtailed, and then in the weeks after, they finally had to admit the Olympic Games wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Certainly not this year. Now, Caroline's very young, but I imagine for a lot of Olympic athletes where they've got the option of turning pro, the prospect of having another year sort of marking time in the amateurs must be a bit daunting.
Yeah, it's born all that hard work, and it shows you I was the right time I turned over, because look, I can still win.
You've been 5 years.
Yeah, imagine that. Waiting for another, God knows how many more years you'd have to wait. You'd be granddad by the time you get ready for Olympics. But
I think you'll still be able to punch when you're a granddad. Probably.
No.
They say it's the last thing to go, don't they?
It's been crazy, Just it's all about timing, and as I said you know, can still win the gold medal. I mean, a world title before she even goes to the Olympics. You know,
let's hope so.
knows? Yeah.
What's her mindset at the moment? Is she sort of thinking, okay, I'll just put it on hold, go to the Olympics next year, or is she thinking, tempted to turn over?
Really, we don't know. You know, we've got to wait and see when everything comes back up, and does this virus get any worse? Will it come back? Will it resurge? Or what's going to happen next? I don't know. Just wait and see what the world is looking like.
Yeah, that's true. That's all we can do at the moment, isn't it? I mean, just tap quickly on your fight, Joe Joyce. Frustratingly, it went from April the 11th to July 10th or 11th, something like that. Maybe we're looking at the autumn. What do you know so far? I
think, I don't know, I might have a fight before the Joe's fight, just to stay active again, shake off a bit of rust or whatever. But that's they're talking about, I don't know. Yeah.
Do you think that would be the way forward, just to have that interim fight? Because otherwise you're only looking at fighting once this year for someone who's used to fighting 5 or 6 times.
Yeah. Make up for lost time, you know. You got to try and compensate that and put something else. Hopefully, Frank put something else in place for that. And
you fancy a bit of this behind closed doors boxing?
Probably, yeah. Why not? It's a ring. You know, I think it's going to be a bit weird without the crowd, especially with a big fight like Joyce. But we'll see. You know, if they just give us a fight before that and just to see what it's like and get used to it and then go for it.
Just finally, there was something took on a life of its own recently, and it had nothing to do with you. It's the name Deontay Wilder was mentioned in connection with your name.
Yeah.
And I think it was thrown to Frank, and he sort of went, well, yeah, in a couple of fights' time, I wouldn't think. And then all of a sudden it becomes Joyce v. Wilder, Dubois v. Wilder. What were you thinking while all this was going on?
People got bored in lockdown, you know.
Yeah.
Got to talk about something. I've got Joyce on my mind right now. Deontay Wilder after that, yeah, why not? When I get through Joyce and these fights these are the next steps, so why not? I'm not afraid to talk about these fights, but on my mind right now, and I think on the horizon is Joyce, and that's the big fight in my career right now. Biggest fight so far.
Having a gap at this stage is easier for you than it is for him at 34, 35, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. I'm only going to get better and improve, and once I knuckle down and get back on this program, I'm going to just take off.
Finally, you've just started back. Have you lost anything? Did you have any did you struggle at all? Any fitness to gain? Any little pinch and inch along the side?
Probably, yeah. I know. There's still got a bit to shake off, a bit of this weight and shake off the rust and trying to get back to where I was. It's going to be a bit tough, but it's testing and it's what we need.
Daniel, thank you very much for your time. You better go and grab your lift before you get in trouble.
I know they're waiting for me.
You take care, pal.
Thank you.